Hey guys, Blackout Bill here. Welcome back to the channel. Countdown to 1,000 starts now. Let's get to work on this 82 35 horsepower. I've been putting it off for fear of failure. You guys might not understand this, but I'm so afraid that I'm going to do all this work and it's not going to work that I've been pushing it to the side. So let's just put it together. Let's get the work done. Let's see if we can get this piece of poop running. And we'll go from there. Okay, we got to install our seal. I've installed my gaskets, a couple gaskets, intake manifold, carburetors cleaned and ready to be put on. We're going to do an electric choke here with a button. I'll explain that in either a separate video or a little later. What we need to do is put our seal in. We pulled the other one out. I believe I got that on video and posted already. We're going to throw a little gasket maker on this because the crankshaft is a little pitted and rusted, and I can't get anything really in there to smooth it out. So we're going to make sure we have a nice tight seal by adding a little bit of black gasket maker to the inside of the seal. We'll hammer that on with a nice socket, and then we'll call that a day. Then we will install our throttle linkage, our cam plate with our new ring that we picked up online. We'll put our new, she's around here somewhere, put our new ignition on there. Put our carb on, put our starter on, and we'll check for compression and see what we're working with. Stay tuned, guys. I'm nervous. This should be a fun one. All right, let's get some of our black goop on this sucker. I gotta find it. All right, so we're gonna throw a little bit of gasket seal or something. All right, we're gonna throw a little bit of this on the inside of the seal. Like I said, it's really pitted in there, so hopefully we don't have any problems with it. I'm just gonna add a little bit to the inside here. I'm gonna go a little heavy on this. I don't think you need to. It's just this motor's got so much pitting. So many things that could go wrong with it. We're just gonna try to minimize one of them. So I'm going to coat it pretty liberally. Half of it's going to come off. So I'm going to coat the outside of it too. Why not, man? Why not? Get it in there. Actually, I'm going to squeeze some in the bottom there. Literally, like, especially where it's pitted here. Like I said, I foresee some issues with this. Okay, that's good enough. So yeah, so there's a right way and a wrong way, and then there's just things that aren't gonna hurt, can help. So you're not gonna see this in any manual, I don't think. Now we get her a socket and push her down. Alright, so we're going to start putting our carburetor together. It's together now, we just have to get her ready for the install. She's got a kit in it, and we installed we had some fun with putting an electric choke on it. I had multiple tops and multiple bottoms, and for this motor, because the one I had with the motor was so bad, I decided to go with the 35 horsepower top, obviously. So we're getting ready to mount our carburetor. A couple carburetor nuts here. And we put everything together, choosing the bowl that we wanted, and we ran with a bowl that was able to take an electric choke. We're going to have a little bit of fun with an electric choke and install a push button for the electric choke. Not typical at all these motors. They actually make a primer, self-priming system, which would be more efficient. But I don't know if I have a good top carburetor top for it. I have the 28 horsepower top, but I'm not sure the throat diameter of that one, and I don't want to go smaller carb on a 35 horsepower. I don't want to go smaller carb on a 35 horsepower motor. So we're going to leave that one where it is, although it might just be the size of the jet, but we'll research that later. This carb is going to work just fine with this electrode system. Should be fun. I like buttons. So, alright, so the carburetor's on. Now we got to assemble our mag plate assembly, and I'm not going to lie to you, I have no idea how it goes. I believe it's the throttle plate on the bottom, which will connect to the ignition plate, and then your ring, your mount, and your brown ring, and then on top of that will go our ignition. So this will go here, and this will bolt. This plate will bolt to here. You see that? This plate will bolt to here, and the ring will be underneath, and this will rotate on top of the shaft. But what we also need to do is add some grease to the outside section here. And I think you can put some triple guard grease on the ring itself as well. So we're going to add some grease here to the outside. You can use Molly Lube here. You can use triple guard. I'm going to just use what I have. I actually have triple guard grease. I can't find it right now. So I'm just going to throw some of this on there. It's like axle grease. And then I'm also going to lube up my ring. And I believe I've heard on the manual or somewhere, they say to kind of like do a mixture of like Molly Lube and a little bit of 2-stroke oil. So I most likely will just kind of, I'll probably just spray it with some, what you call it, some PP Blazed, just to give the grease a little bit of a mix. Not a whole lot, not a whole little either. Stuff stinks. It smells. Probably going a little overboard with it. But now that's done, we can add our ignition. Easy, princess. And I think it goes somewhere in this general vicinity. Slide it on. I did have to clean my surface area up a little bit. Okay. Right there. Okay. So I am seeing spots where the holes line up. Yep. I'm gonna get some screws. Hopefully the right screw. Alright, I think I've been putting off this starter install long enough. So we're going to have to get our starter bracket in place to see if we have a shot at getting this thing to run. I don't even know how it mounts. I think it's this way. And I have no idea how all the wiring goes. It's definitely this way. There's our throttle bracket goes in there, and our solenoid goes in there. And I still have to figure out what wires lead to where, and what, and who's, and what's, and all kinds of fun stuff. So, I'm going to start with basics. Brackets. Brackets and bolts, my specialty. Alright. And we know this top bolt has got to be installed. It's going to get installed like that. Thingy there. This is our stop point for that. That can be adjusted later. Alright, we're going to get this one. This was the tricky one. You all see that? Yeah. So this was the hardest one to get on and off, so we'll put that on first before we squeeze our solenoid back in place. Probably bigger than this one. Probably too big. The other question is too, what is there a ground that goes there? This actually might be the bolt. Anyway, but we're gonna figure out what bolt goes there. We're gonna mount the starter bracket here, up the top, I believe right here, and there might be another bolt here. We gotta make sure we hook up our grounds wherever they may be. So we know we gotta ground the solenoid, and we know we gotta ground the power to the battery. So, and we also know that one of my grounds is gone. And one of my grounds for the coil pack is going to be... I'm getting a little overwhelmed with this project, but we'll figure it out. We'll go step by step. We'll try to figure out exactly what we got to do. So let's mount the starter bracket now, and we'll do some research, find out where our grounds go. So here we are, trying to wire a starter up. And I got 2 videos on the subject of me going over and over and over and over. And here I am trying to wire the thing, and I can't freaking remember which goes where. Oh, man. Talk about being shot. So I got the 2, like I obviously know the 1 power lead from the starter goes here. And I know the battery's going to go here. And one of my power switches go here. And I know my ground for the... the solenoid's got to be grounded. The only thing I'm left with is that last wire on the switch. Now, in my head, I was like, okay, so I got 1 switch power here. The other switch power has got to go to the ground. But I'm like, crap, I think it goes to the power side of the solenoid. So I'm going to go check my video out and find out what the heck is the procedure. But how funny is that? You know, I've done it 100 times. I just can't. It doesn't sink in sometimes. But in any case, most likely power is, you know, the button here and the other power's here. Everything else is right. I'm just trying to figure out that last power lead from the switch. So theoretically, this is like it's not a power and a ground, it's a power and a power. It'd be power main and then power terminal here. But we'll obviously figure that out. You guys have heard me ad nauseum figure that out. But we got our ignition up. We tried to mess with our throttle a little bit just to play with it, just to kind of like kids. So we got to finish bolting up the rectifier. We got to finish wiring the rectifier. We got to finish wiring the coil pack. Because I want to get the flywheel on. I want to test for spark and compression. So throttle's hooked up. Wires are almost there. I got my 3 leads coming from the stator. That's got to be hooked up to the rectifier. Rectifier's got to be bolted tight. Then we need to... Well, the button will be powered. Then I got to grab a quick new terminal for the negative lead here. That'll be able for us to hook up some battery power. Then the hardest part's going to be hooking up the coils and remembering where all the grounds for the coils are. So I'm going to have to pick up a schematic on that one because I have a bum lead here. I have a wire that frayed off at some point somewhere. I got to wire that up, but it's a little overwhelming to remember all this stuff. So I'm sure there's a diagram out there to figure it out. And that's where we're at. So we're almost at the wiring phase. I got to bolt my coils back up, rehook my starter leads and everything, and then this rectifier, that's easy. It's all color coordinated there. Quick terminal on the negative end here. We'll expose that, get some nice fresh copper there. And God, dare I say it, we'll check for some spark here. Oh man, this is fun. Guys, countdown to 1,000 starts now. 9:10, 9:11, 9. We're getting there. Thanks for enduring me. We'll see you in the next video.